Have you ever thought about why the record Oldtownroad became such a big smash hit? Why it was such a big record? Have it ever dawned on you, as an independent artist trying to get your music out there, why that record in particular, whether it had a major label behind it or whatever, what happened, why it became so big? Welcome to 59 Seconds again. This is International Reggae Dancehall Artist No Fear, and I'm about to just give y'all some more game. One of the main reasons, in my opinion, that Oldtownroad became such a big record, it wasn't for its lyrical content, even though I thought the record was well put together. It wasn't for nothing of that. It was for the mere nostalgia uh, of that rap artist did a country record. And that's part of the reason why people thought it was a parody and they wanted to take it off the country charts. That was part of the reason why that happened. Because of the pure fact that it was how unique of the collaboration was, of the thought of the hip hop artist doing a country record, you know, in such sense. So what I'm saying, why I'm bringing this up is, a lot of y'all don't step out of your genre and do collaborations, and that is supreme right now, if you ask me, because the more recognition you could get. I mean, look, hip hop is well known. I'm a reggae dancehall artist. I'm in Jamaica a lot. Hip hop gets played on the radio. It gets played in the parties and the clubs in Jamaica like it ain't nothing. I mean, you got Latin hip hop artists. You got Chinese hip hop artists. You got Japanese. You got Korean. You got all of these markets. Africa. You got grime in the UK. It is so much different avenues of this hip hop, reggae, and all these other music. The minute you step out into these other genre space and you start to dib and dabble with some of these music, then you're gonna get a large audience interest to hear what that sound like. Nas did a whole album or EP with Damien Jr. Gong Marley. I mean, we could talk about these different aspects of music. Now we got Lil Nas X with the Oldtownroad record, and there's other things that could come out. If you want to be identified as the MC that you are, as the talent that you are, as the person that could command a large attention, it would make more sense for you to start to do a lot more records in different genre space. And listen, don't worry about that artist. You don't have to worry about that artist because he can't do what you do. You don't do what he do. But his fan base or potential fan base will respect him for the fact that you guys came together and made a masterpiece. You know what I mean? It's simple just to rap in your own space, but your space was crowded anyway, right? So by just stepping one step over, you get to still keep your tone, do something someone with another native tongue, combine forces together, and now you have the ability to reach people that you probably wouldn't normally reach on a regular basis. If we're talking about consumption, why wouldn't you want to have a vast variety of music so that people could consume it, so that you could reach people beyond your borders? Tekashi 6ix9ine, another one of those kind of guys who kind of got a break overseas, was featured on, to my knowledge, some major YouTube channels from, I forgot what country in question, but he made his buzz. He was touring and doing shows over there and brought his wave this way. Subsequently, why no matter what he does, he always have people from overseas loving the music. I mean, your check doesn't necessarily have to come from your hometown or even your country. I'm sure anybody who watches the video wouldn't give a fuck if there were like a star in the UK living in the US. They're gonna take the check. You know what I mean? If you was in Australia getting money, you can't get none here in the U.S., but you go to Australia and make 2, 3, 4, 5 million. Would you be that upset? I sure know I wouldn't. Think about it. Create a lane for yourself. Stop being held by genre. Live a non-specific genre life. You will do music with anybody if they're dope in their own space. That is what you say from now on going forward. That's how you think. If you're dope in that, whatever you do, if you're dope in it, if your peers consider you to be dope, I'll do a record with you. That's all you need to always say. Because you supposed to be dope in your own space. That person being dope in his own space. You guys come together, create a collaborative effort, and blow this thing out in the water. I mean, I'm looking at these K-pop artists. If you ever look at their streams, their YouTube numbers, they mass the numbers of what we do. We talking about 1 million. Shit, in a week, they got 50 million. So could you imagine if you had a record as an authentic hip-hop artist and somebody who was doing like something like that, what kind of a attraction that would bring? Just think about it, man. Stay out the box. I mean, get out the box. Always do different things. Expand your reach. You know, there's a lot of these Latin artists. Bad Bunny, you see a lot of this Latin music. I'm even hearing some fusion, some of what we call like Afro beats. These Afro artists are now on the radio over here because they got these big records. You know what I mean? And now they're being played on the radio over here because these records are killer. I'm gonna tell you something. Sidebar, well, direct conversation. You go to Africa, them guys is really driving those Bentleys. They don't lease them, they own them. Those guys is really knocking out these numbers. They're on that content, and there's a lot of different countries within that content. These guys are cleaning up. Don't sit there in your mindset because you just think about your 20 block radius that you live in and that you feature around every day. This world is vast. There's billions of people that live here. You know what I mean? Sometimes some other people across the country may see your talents before somebody here see it. That's one of the best things about being able to be out there and be streaming and being on these different platforms, because you never know whose attention you could pull. You know, every time I get my royalty statements from music, I look to see what countries played my music, and then I be wondering, who the fuck over there decided to play this shit? Like, you know what I mean? That like hits me in the head like, damn. You know what I mean? 20,000 streams from some country I never heard of, but I know somebody played my music over there. You know what I mean? So, little game for thought, man. Just gave you 59 seconds a game. Now use it wisely.